Hi, it's Kevin Bates here, and today I want to talk about blockchain in general in response to a comment I got, which was that blockchain is just a decentralized or a distributed database. And the point I want to make is that, yes, from a technical point of view, that is what blockchain is. And if you are looking for a technical solution, then there is no point in using a blockchain, because blockchain is not solving a technical problem. If you're just trying to solve a question of storing and retrieving data, then you should be using a database. However, if you start looking at economic and philosophical problems, then blockchain offers something that databases do not. And a parallel I want to draw here is when ledgers for accounting were first invented and double entry bookkeeping was invented, somebody could have looked at an account ledger and said, but that is just a book. Why are you going to all this trouble to write all these numbers in it in columns and columns and make them all add up? There's nothing new here. You're doing it on a piece of paper. We've had books for centuries. And this is the thing that is faced by techies when they approach blockchain and look at it and say, yes, that's just a very clunky, clumsy, slow, expensive database. And you've got to think about the problem that blockchain is trying to solve, and it is actually a very significant problem. Namely, how do you in a digital environment represent ownership in such a way that the owner is in full control of the digital asset that they own? And this is not a trivial problem. And it's the problem that Satoshi Nakamoto solved. That's why the title of his paper is Peer-to-Peer Digital Cash, right? And the idea of people having full control over their assets, over their money, is actually quite a radical one. And you start drawing in all sorts of philosophical questions about what is value, what is money, and what is ownership. Now, when you have money in a bank account, you don't really own it, right? The bank can just turn around on a whim and say, because you're running a blockchain company, we're freezing your account. And then you need to go through a complicated, time-consuming legal process to prove that what you are doing is legitimate before they will unfreeze your assets. Whereas if you have full control of them, then that kind of thing can't happen to you. Similarly, if you have banknotes issued, a fiat issued by a government, you are not in full control of that. And when you're living in a stable country like a European country using the euro or America using the dollar, this is a problem that you don't really face. But if you're living in an unstable country, then you may have a big pile of cash, and you may wake up one day and find that your government has done something very stupid or very corrupt, and that cash is now worthless. This is why people shift their money into things like gold, because they see it as something that has global recognition and that an individual stupid government can't mess up. So I'm thinking about countries like Venezuela or here, for example, where you had massive inflation and the general populace can't do anything about it. So that's the problem that blockchain is solving. It's creating this database that's out there for anybody to join and anybody to write data to, provided they do so in the correct format, and it's used to create a global public open ledger of ownership of these things, bitcoins. And the more you think about it and the more you look at the economic problems and the way our economic systems work, the more it becomes apparent what a significant thing this actually is. So just to recap on this video, what I'm talking about here is that if you come at blockchain looking at it as purely a technical solution to older problems about data storage, then it's not going to overwhelm you at all, and you'll wonder why people are getting all excited about it. However, if you look at it as a new way of representing ownership in a digital, open, public manner, in order to change the way that we deal with the ownership of value and the transfer of value without needing to rely on a government or a bank or some other party who can arbitrarily decide to cut you off, then it suddenly becomes apparent that this is actually a very, very significant invention. And that's the point I wanted to make today. I hope I managed to summarize that in an understandable manner and that you found that interesting, and maybe some of you are moving a bit more towards understanding why people like myself think that blockchain is a very significant invention, possibly one of the most significant ones in recent history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video soon, I hope. Bye for now.